One summer moment can change a child's life. Through Toys for Tots Give and Go initiative, your support provides books, games, toys, and outdoor adventures that spark curiosity, creativity, and a love of nature. Whether it's fishing, learning a new sport, reading under a tree, or playing with friends, these moments build confidence and lifelong memories. For too many children, those moments never come. You can help change that this summer. Visit toysfortots.org. Toys for Tots, delivering hope beyond the holidays.
The James Golden Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Welcome, my friends, to the Friday edition of Bo Snerdley's Rush Hour, the fastest hour in American media. Here we are at the 4th of July weekend, and welcome aboard. So much to discuss on today's program. And we are going to jump into it by taking a look at some of the... Everybody's making comments, finally, on this, the 250th anniversary weekend of America's birth. The Pope has made comments. Of course, every single liberal in the world is making comments, usually about how much they hate the country, mixed in with some other stuff. Mondami had a message. Everybody's trying to tie the birth of America into their ideology. So this is like open borders weekend for the left. Oh, the founders would have wanted open borders. We must welcome every immigrant in the world who wants to come here. Yeah, all that stuff. We're going to talk about all of that. And, of course, it's hot outside. Oh, Carlos isn't here today. I think he's at the wedding in New York. You know, the wedding's underway right now, or they're lining up. The information's coming out. Paul McCartney's supposed to perform at the big wedding in Midtown Manhattan today at Madison Square Garden. Who else? I know her very well. Anyway, from Fleetwood Mac, you know what I'm talking about, is supposed to perform, and a bunch of other people, and all the A-listers are in town. Apparently, Jay-Z flew in through helicopter, Steven Spielberg. It's a who's who was who's who. The streets are closed. It's almost like royalty is in New York. And so the normal people have to have the regular people. You're not allowed to be on the streets of your city nearby because royalty is in town. These are the people that always complain about no kings and all the rest of it. But their celebrity royalty are in town. And it's a good thing. So there you go with that. Let us get started with the... Oh, what else? Wait a minute. Climate change. How could we forget? It's hot. So, here's an article, one of the mainstream outlets. Without climate change, U.S. heat wave called virtually impossible. So you understand where this is going, right? Heat and humidity as severe, prolonged, and far-reaching as this week's would have been virtually impossible in the Northeast and Eastern Canada before humans began warming the planet, a team of scientists said on Friday. So, a team of scientists has now declared that ever since mankind has arrived, we've screwed it up. We would not have the heat and humidity as severe and as prolonged if not for human beings being on the planet Earth. Emissions of carbon dioxide and other greenhouse gases from the burning of oil, gas, coal have trapped more of the sun's heat on the Earth's surface, raising temperatures worldwide for more than 1 century. And of course, you know the nation that they blame for most of it. Summer hot spells are nothing new. But because of the excess heat around the planet caused by global warming, they can produce higher temperatures today than they once did. And it goes on and on and on. My question is, what are the scientists doing about it? Have the scientists, every single one of these scientists in the group, Have they stopped using their carbon devices? Have they stopped using their computers? Have they stopped using their refrigerators to store food? Have they stopped driving their cars? Have they stopped using everything that produces more carbon dioxide? And if they haven't, then they need to, what we respectfully call STFU. Because what's the point? And by the way, what do we do about it? Even if it were true, which we've always had summer folks. It's the hottest. We wouldn't have this heat and humidity if not for mankind. Oh, really? Really? You know, once upon a time, if you follow science, ladies and gentlemen, like I do, you remember that the earth was a ball of ice. The whole earth, all of earth, it looked like a cue ball, a big billiard ball. It was ice. It was an ice ball. Yes, in the early days of earth. And then, guess what happened? It got warm. It heated up. And the ice melted. And we had oceans. And we had water. We had lakes. And then if you follow Earth, now the science doesn't talk about, God in this way of creation. But then if you follow along, we got life. We know, those of us believe in God, understand God. We know where life comes from. And from the waters came life. From God came life. But from the waters came life after it got hot. And we had, in some places, 4 seasons, and the 4 seasons continue, and in the summertime it gets hot. And that's the way it has been, and that's the way it shall always be. And even if the places where summertime shifts, in the summertime it's still going to get hotter. And in the wintertime it's going to be colder. Period. Now, moving on. Moving on, ladies and gentlemen. Philadelphia Salute to Independence Parade has been canceled as blistering temperatures hit the city and hit the city hard. Well, they're not going to be celebrating in Philadelphia, and that is bad news. Very bad news. Because if the nation's birthplace, and the freedom, the Liberty Bell and all that, if they're not going to have a big parade in Philadelphia, then that doesn't bode well. The semi-quincentennial. Hope I said that right. Anyway, the 250 floats were slated to be there. Organized had to cancel the event. Due to extreme heat, the Salute to Independence parade is canceled. So, you're going to have to figure it out on your own. Barbecues or not. By the way, in California, the place where, yesterday we covered this story, where California Democrats are now made sure that they are allowing sex offenders, including those accused of rape and raping children, to become elected officials, even on the school boards. I mean, if you want to make your school board as diverse as possible, why not have a child rapist on the school board? That's California Democrats. California HOA. 2 things together. California liberals and then California liberals, because you know this is liberals, running an HOA. Can you imagine what's a worse place to live in? First of all, you're in California. Then you have the liberals running an HOA in California. Amy Cook and her husband have probably been flying the U.S. flag outside their San Marcos, California condominium for nearly 20 years. But now, Their homeowners association is threatening them with a $100 fine, arguing that the display of Old Glory flies in the face of community rules, of liberal rules. Now, Ms. Cook has made it clear that their flag is not coming down without a fight. It's a symbol of freedom. What does it say to people who are risking their lives for our country that we can't fly this flag? Yeah. San Marcos, California. HOA says, screw the American flag. You're violating our HOA rules. You can't fly your American flag in front of your property. Happy freaking 4th from the liberal. But by the way, if you guys want to elect a local pedophile, a rapist, a child rapist to run for school board, why the HOA? These liberals will get behind that, probably. That's California these days. Let's let child molesters, child rapists, including those who commit sodomy on children, they said it's in the bill, not making it up. Let's let them run for public office, including school boards. But let's not, shall we? Let's not have people raising their damned American flags in front of their property in our HOAs. Amazing. James Golden, Snerdley with you here, fastest hour in American media. Jim Morrison. Anniversary of some passing today, eh? It is. And the Doors. Jim Morrison, of course, one of, I would call this group, the Doors, one of the big influences of early rock and roll, without a doubt. James Golden, don't set anything on fire, please, tonight. It's hot out here. James Golden and Snerdley with you here. They're banning fireworks in a lot of places. They don't want you to set the night on fire. It's too hot. No talk of pyres and funerals. No talk of lighting fires. Fireworks. It's only the 4th of July weekend, after all. We'll be back. Don't go away.
The James Golden Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Want to elevate your travel experience? Here's how. With a Delta SkyMiles Reserve American Express card, you can relax before your flight in the Delta Sky Club with up to 15 visits per medallion year. And now through July 15th, 2026, you can earn up to 125,000 bonus miles, so you're closer to your next adventure. The Delta SkyMiles Reserve card. Check out the new design at www.delta.com/Spotify. Minimum spending requirements and terms apply.
The James Golden Show.
Entertaining and informative.
On the Red Apple Podcast Network.
In 2004, on this day, David Crosby was fined about $5,000. He admitted he had a weapon. He was arrested in New York. They found a gun, a knife, and some Mary Jane. But more importantly, on this day in 1968, there was a impromptu gathering at Joni Mitchell's house, Lookout Mountain, Laurel Canyon in Los Angeles. Among the attendees, David Crosby, Stephen Stills, and Graham Nash. So they jammed together. First time. And out of that, they went on to form the group, Crosby, Stills, and Nash.
What a good name.
I love that. I always love their name.
And when they added Neil Young in?
And then I was about to say, and then Young.
How creative, good marketing.
It was awesome. Crosby, Stills, and Nash. Philip knows his music. Philip knows jazz, too. Unlike some people that know rock and they're limited to one genre or two genres. He knows all of it. He came in with a Coltrane shirt one day, and I was just like, what? What? A Coltrane shirt? He had me then. Looking at the clock. Let's see. We have a little time for a little joy in our lives, don't we? Let's, ladies and gentlemen, check in with Joy Reid on this, the 250th Party for America. Ms. Joy Reid, formerly of PMS NBC.
Who wants to come over here and have a kid right now? This country is cutting Medicaid, Medicare. It's not like you're going to get that. No one who's coming over here as immigrants is coming to get welfare. They come over here to start businesses and get jobs and do the jobs Americans really don't want to do, doing all the hard work. Nobody even wants to come here anymore. Right now, the U.S. has net ex-migration. We have net negative migration right now. People are getting the hell out of here. Even U.S. citizens don't want to live here anymore. So trust me, y'all, don't worry that the global South don't want to be here either. Neither do a lot of Americans. There are a lot of Americans who want to get the hell out because MAGA America is sad, pathetic, boring, has no entertainment, no culture, no stars. MAGA America sucks. And people don't even want to come here anymore. Y'all don't have to worry. Maybe the Russians want to come. I doubt anyone else does.
So, according to Joy Reid, now that some of the welfare benefits have dried up, that's the first thing she said. They can't get Medicaid. So now that some of the handouts have dried up for illegal immigrants, nobody want to come here. And then you MAGA people, you have no culture. You have no A-list celebrities. You have no stars. That's the reason why people want to come to America, because the liberal stars live in America. That's the reason why people all over the world decided they wanted to be American, because of Hollywood stars and A-list celebrity stars. And besides, MAGA sucks. Even the people down south don't want to come here. America sucks so hard. MAGA is so freaking... The operative question is, if that's the way you feel about our beautiful, wonderful nation, Ms. Reid, why are you here? You are a celebrity. You are a black woman and proud. There are so many countries over in what the white liberals used to call the dark continent. They meant that as the darky continent, but they shortened the dark continent. Joy, they would love you in the darky. The liberals used to call it that. I'm not making it up. They used to call Africa the dark cunt. Joy, if you don't like it here, go dark, sister.
The James Golden Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network. The James Golden Show.
Entertaining and informative.
On the Red Apple Podcast Network.
From the Tattoo You album. I remember when this was released. Boy, this just broke. Became one of my favorite Rolling Stone songs, and that says a lot because there's so many for so long. 1969. Brian Jones, one of the co-founders of the Stones, as you may remember, those of you old enough to remember, decided that he would do some drugs, drink some booze, and then go for a swim. It ended badly. He drowned in in the swimming pool. Aged 27 years old. Death by misadventure. And by the way, the autopsy showed his liver and heart were heavily enlarged by drug and alcohol abuse. And think about that. That was 1969, and the Stones are still they're still active. It's amazing. The James Golden Snerdley here. Let us, my friends, we already had Joy with us. Let us we can't do the whole thing. Phil, I can't take the whole thing. But let's start with, I can't. I listened to the whole thing when I sent it into you guys, and I'm like, I can't do this again to myself today. But the mayor of New York was sitting behind George Washington's desk at City Hall, which in and of itself is sort of a sacrilege almost. There's a great AI meme about this. George Washington is like in a T-shirt, pair of jeans, it looks like, or something, some casual pants, a T-shirt, and some sneakers. And he's got a cigarette. And he's just looking like just a totally WT you-know-what look. And is captioned after hearing Mondami's speech behind his desk. It is just, anyway, this is Mondami, mayor, socialist, communist mayor of New York City.
At City Hall, as I sit behind George Washington's desk, alongside new Americans who came to this country, I cannot see all of America. But like so many who came before, I can see New York City. The city I see today looks very different than the one that greeted George Washington. In July of 1776, our city simmered under the yoke of oppression. The British had imposed a colonial rule so repressive that 250 years ago, 80 miles south, a small group of newspaper editors, farmers, and soldiers signed their names on a document declaring truths that feel self-evident now, but were revolutionary then, establishing the ideals our nation still strives to fulfill. The British did not take it well. War broke out, and that August, as the largest battle of the Revolutionary War unfolded in Brooklyn, batteries on Governor's Island took aim at British ships anchored just offshore. We were outgunned, we were outmanned, and we were soundly defeated. After only a few months, it appeared our fledgling attempt at democracy was on the precipice of collapse. But that night, with the moon overhead, thousands of our soldiers silently climbed into ferries and flat-bottom boats and escaped to Manhattan. The Continental Army survived to fight another day. Independence may have been declared in Philadelphia, but it was rescued in New York City. George Washington was the last to leave Brooklyn. As he waited at the river's edge, the sun beginning its rise, he would have looked out over New York City's waters and seen what so many have seen in the 250 years since: an opportunity to begin anew. Those opportunities, like everything in New York City, are not given. They are won. In 1838, 11 years after New York outlawed slavery, a recently emancipated black man by the name of James Weeks sought to begin anew as well, and to help hundreds of others do the same. He bought property in Brooklyn, won himself the right to vote, and sold lots to others newly freed. When they landed in New York Harbor, they knew they had something waiting for them.
And what I'd like to say, we did listen to the whole thing, well, as much as I could take, of Mondami. And I have newly immigrated people here, and Democrats all over today, like Mondami, are using the 250th birthday of America to tell stories that all resonate with us that know American history, because those are the stories of the greatness of some of America's founders. But what then they are doing is mixing that greatness with their own ideology to suggest that the founders of America wanted a land of open borders where anybody could stroll in and just live off the teat of American taxpayers. Yes, I said it. Live off the teat of American taxpayers, because that's exactly what's going on. They look surprised when I said that. Yeah, that's what's been happening with this massive welfare state that Democrats built. Let me get back to Mondani. And so here I am behind George Washington's desk, and I'm lamenting the oppression that came from England. And never once do I bother to tell you people that the oppression that we liberals are delivering is the same kind of oppression that caused the rebellion against England. We want your money. In fact, here I am, Mamdani, just telling people, if you're wealthy, I want to take your money. And I want to spend it the way I want to spend it. Screw you. If you have private property, which Americans fought for in the Revolution, which was so revolutionary. It was an idea. The private property belongs to you. It was revolutionary. But not anymore, because my name is Mandami, and I'm taking your private property. Screw you. If you don't like it, sue me, you mother... excuse me, you rich people. And I hate rich people, unless my rich people. See, my family's really rich. I keep talking about this we stuff. We won the war. Yo, Tonto, my folks are from Uganda. And I still go back, but I'm American. Yeah. But we, liberals, have created the same kind of oppression that Americans rebelled against. And we're doing it every day. Screw you. Your children don't belong to you. They belong to us. If we want to cut their little gonads off, that's what we'll do. Because they're our children, not your children. We'll cut off their little boobies. We'll cut off their little peepees. And we'll make them into entirely new people. Because that's what we do. We like to cut children and mutilate them. And nobody can tell us to stop because we're liberals. We'll take your money. We'll take your houses. We'll take whatever you have because we want to spend it the way we want to spend it. In fact, we like to take your money and make sure that we give it to some of the people from that place we used to call the Dark Continent. Now we're doing our own reparations program. We're giving your tax dollars back to them. They can come over here and steal it from you, and we're giving it back to them. See, it's that whole colonial thing. We never liked you people from Europe anyway. We hate you people. But anyway, we're going to use the 250th anniversary of America to try to pretend that we love America. But we really hate your guts. And we're doing everything we can to make sure that we take every freaking thing that you have and we destroy it. Okay? And we're going to open up the borders and give your country because we don't like white people either. We don't like white people. And we wanted the browning of America. We told you we were going to do it, and we did it. We opened up Central America. We opened up South America. We opened up Africa, the Dark Continent. And we told everybody, just come to America, and you can just take everything those white people have. We're going to take it all. And that's what we're doing. And we're going to cut up your kids, and we're going to take your property, and we're going to take your money, and screw you. Happy to... excuse me, language, beep. Ooh. Sorry, that one let go. Had a language issue with that, my friends. I was in the zone. Happy effing 250th to the country that we hate. That is the American message from American liberals. Now, James Carville did something rare. He had a soundbite with no profanity in it. I think it's our first one. Am I lying, by the way, about what these people are really doing and thinking? Am I lying? I mean, these are the people, remember this. These are the people who want child rapists to run for elected office. I still can't get over that. In California, they want rapists of children and other sex abusers to be able to run for public office. They stopped a bill that would ban child rapists for running for the school boards and for every other elected office. That's who they did. That's who Californians and Democrats have become. And we didn't even get into the child surrogacy thing, which is just another way to do human trafficking. I'm going to hold on to that until tomorrow. But in the meantime, James Carville had something to say, cut two, and it's without profanity that I almost got myself fired for a few moments ago when I was totally in the zone. Folks, I let the F-bomb drop. It was an accident. That's never happened to me in my entire career. But that is what Democrats, and never, ever, I've never made that mistake. I was just in the zone. Excuse me. Anyway.
I just think the party may have to splinter. I go back to the same thing. I don't know I'm old, so who cares? But there are people younger than me that kind of agree with pluralism and agree with this kind of stuff. And it may be that people always talked about the end of the two-party system. We might see it pretty close to the end of it.
First of all, I didn't even drop we might be at the end of the two-party system with these little shows. I'm old, who cares? James Carville, you are amazing. By the way, we have more from Keith Ellison. I'm not going to get that in today. I'm looking at the clock. We have to do the clip of the day. I want to do something fun today. We'll have tomorrow to continue talking about America's 250th. But today I want to do something fun. In Florida, especially since some of you in the counterculture, you know who you are, believe in all sorts of things. Let's visit, this guy's becoming my favorite, Polk County Sheriff Grady Judd. That would be cut 13. Here's Grady Judd from Polk County, Florida.
Occasionally I do a press release about something you just can't believe. But, you know, it's Friday.
Friday,
12:30, middle of the day.
It's
You're kind of hungry,
now,
right? So you go to the store.
Mm-hmm.
Not these folks. They went to the Wawa on the old Wilson Road in Davenport. And for about 15 minutes, they went in and out of the store, stealing drinks and food.
Yeah.
And then they would go back in and hide so the other one could steal drinks and food. Well, the Wawa management called us and said, hey, there's a lot of people here stealing. So our deputies rushed there and detained all of them. Here's what we found out. They're in an Airbnb in the area on vacation. They come from Broward County, Palm Beach County. I think there was some from Seminole County. They were all friends.
Yeah.
And they decided, heck, why buy lunch when we can just go down to Wawa and take it? So during the investigation, this guy here, Jaden,
15.
You know, this guy's a moron. He pulls up and starts screaming at the folks that we are investigating, don't cooperate, shut up. And we told him, hey, man, you're violating the HALO law. You're interfering in our investigation. Back up, back up. Did he back up? No. He messed around and found out. You know what I'm saying? Yep, and the rest of them poked around and found out. So at the end of the investigation, when we started putting them in handcuffs and taking them to jail, they were shocked. What do you mean you're taking us to jail? Yeah, that's what we do in Polk County. You steal stuff that doesn't belong to you, we take you to jail. So they came to Polk County on vacation, and they'll leave on probation. Think about that before you steal something that doesn't belong to you.
I love this guy. I love it. By the way, it's like 15 of them. Overwhelmingly members of a certain cultural sect. I'll just leave it like that. Young ones. Yes. When we get back, ladies and gentlemen, the clip of the day is coming up. Keep it right here for the clip of the day. This day, in music always makes me smile because it is the heavenly birthday of Laura Branigan. Born in 1952. 1982, she had this one, Gloria. Stayed on the Hot 100 for 36 weeks. Peaked out at number 2. Laura Branigan came up to the radio station. I was the music director at WABC in New York when this song came out. And she came up to the station to promote the record. Boy, she and I got flirty in a nice way. It wasn't anything risque. It was harmless, but very flirty with each other back then. And nothing, of course, didn't even get her number. But I always remember that because she was so sweet and so nice. Just a nice woman. Passed away sadly when she was 52 of a brain aneurysm back in 2004. Remembering the great Laura Branigan. The Kill of the Day coming up. Don't go away.
The James Golden Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network. The James Golden Show.
Entertaining and informative.
On the Red Apple Podcast Network.
The clip of the day. You want to hear it. It's the clip of the day.
Ladies and gentlemen, our clip of the day actually is not from today or even yesterday. It's from 2019. It has, however, resurfaced all over certain parts of social media today and yesterday as we, America, celebrate our 250th birthday. It is from the man running on the Democrat Party slate to become the next senator from the great state of Tejas. His name is James Tallarico. And it goes by quick, so listen closely, these choice comments to make about the American flag.
I often think when reclaiming symbols, I think about the American flag. I think the Confederate flag is a symbol of treason and terrorism. But the American flag is such a complicated symbol for most of us. And in many ways, like Jesus, like the cross, it's been co-opted and in some ways its true meaning has been betrayed.
I want to just play that one more time because I want to make sure I heard what I heard. Ladies and gentlemen, I just want to make sure we heard what we heard.
I often think when reclaiming symbols, I think about the American flag. I think the Confederate flag is a symbol of treason and terrorism. But the American flag is such a complicated symbol for most of us. And in many ways, like Jesus, like the cross, it's been co-opted and in some ways its true meaning has been betrayed.
So not only is the American flag, now the Communist Democrat Party, the Confederate Democrat Party flag, because that's what the Democrat flag is a flag of treason. So we can agree on that. Well, we can't agree because some people don't agree. But anyway, the Democrat Confederate flag, that's treason. But the American flag, according to Mr. Tallarico, you just heard him there, it's complicated. It's like Jesus and the cross. It's complicated because it's been co-opted and used by people in the wrong way. So, ladies and gentlemen, not only is the American flag complicated and all that and messed up, so is the cross. They're both complicated. They've been taken by people and used in the wrong way. So said James Tallarico. Won't be your next senator from Texas. Yeah. It's time for us to go. Fastest hour in American media.
Thanks for listening to The James Golden Show. You can hear The James Golden Show Saturday mornings at 7. If you like the podcast, share it with your friends and listen anytime at WABCRadio.com and download the WABC Radio app. Hit that subscribe button on all major podcast platforms. Plus, follow WABC on social on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and X. See you next time for a new episode so you never have to wonder.
What the heck is going on here?